Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Age of Mythology Retold update is here. January 22nd, 2025. Age of Empires official has come to say g'day. It's been a long 2 months, a grueling 2 months, but a 2-month nonetheless. New Year 2025 event is here, and with it, the new complete 25 challenges to earn new profile icons from January 23rd to February 26th. One new challenge will be added each day from the event's start, and challenges will remain available until the end of the event. So we did this one already, but this one is now for the New Year's event. Now, I'm not 100% sure on this. I don't want to go too much into it, but there was a mini patch before they dropped this patch. I haven't checked. Can someone say in the chat whether or not the holidays icons are still there, because they weren't there when they did the mini patch. So I fingers crossed that they have re-put them in the small 30 seconds. Everything's back. Okay, I'm going to completely, it's fine. Take it all back. I didn't say anything. Well done, devs. Onwards and upwards. I'm not going to read through all of these icons. You guys can learn about these every single day by playing every single day. We've now got a new feature mode, photo mode. Oh my golly gosh, this is kind of sick. A new photo mode has been added to allow you to capture the perfect screenshot. I can't wait. Photo mode can be opened using Control F12 on the keyboard. Lovely. That's kind of sick. Okay, new feature, alternative editor. What? Enable alternative editor UI. There's a completely new alternative layout editor has been added. In addition to the editor you may already be familiar with, the old UI will be active by default. To open the new alternative editor, go to the UI settings and locate the enable alternate editor UI option. Enabling this option will swap the editor UI you launch into. This setting can be changed from the main menu. Wow, this looks kind of sick. I mean, the old editor did look very how do you say, legacy style. So it's pretty nice that it's been given a bit of a makeover. Gonna have to definitely check this one out. Stability and performance. We know what all this stuff is. Every little bit of bug fixes. There's so many bugs to get fixed, and everyone that gets fixed is going to be in this list. As much as I'd love to read this, you can pause and read through these if you think they've found anything. I'm really hoping that there is fixed a bug causing spectators to freeze while attempting to spectate large matches. That's not exactly the one that I'm after, but maybe that means the spectating is all fixed and we can start really smashing the tournament hosting. Graphics, fixed timing of the slingers, weapon animation. Okay, that doesn't really matter. Adjusted Atlantean's Titan walk animation speed. Okay, adjusted some terrain and grass types to modify the type of grass used. Fixed a bug causing friend or foe colors to not be applied correctly in some cases. Fixed the bugs causing the edge of the world to show incorrect terrain transitions. Fixed a bug causing inconsistent audio experiences in the Arena of the Gods menu. Okay, we actually know what those are. Let's keep going. UI color accessibility options can now be changed mid-game. Love. Minor visual updates to various areas of the UI. Cool, we'll have to wait and see. Minor updates to improve visuals on the Village Priority UI. Minor updates to improve accessibility in the Arena of the Gods UI. Fixed a bug causing replays with only one player to show broken UI. Okay. Fixed a bug causing the replay resource. Yada, yada, yada. Cam bottom right. Hold on. I'll just make sure I'm making sure it's on the thing. Okay, it's fine. Fixed a bug causing settings to reset when opening the control pop-up in the settings. Okay. Fixed a bug confirming Pantheon selection if you deselect all gods. There's a lot of bug fixes here. Remove the sight command on berries. I don't know what any of these really mean other than a lot of bug fixes here will mean that, Age of Mythology, if you were like getting frustrated with those bugs, definitely come back and try it again, because it looks like there's been a lot of effort into this. So it should feel a little bit more polished up. Nonetheless, new hotkeys options available for the photo mode. Xbox and controller players are going to get a whole bunch of new shiny toys here. So we'll slowly come down and see what we can see. I don't really know what anything on the controller is. Unfortunately, I haven't used it. In fact, I don't have an Xbox controller, so I don't even know if I can use it. But nonetheless, we're now getting to the part what we all want. Gameplay. Let's take a quick look here. Fixes. Fixed a bug causing placement of walls to be difficult in some situations when trying to place. Okay, that's good. Improvements to the AI behavior, dealing with island migration. Fantastic for those kind of islands things that people want to play. Updates to pathfinding to improve handling of goal navigation or rotated obstructions. Don't really know what that means. Iteration on the AI to make it perform better in certain situations. We need to try the AI again. We gotta beat that legendary AI again. Fixed a pathfinding bug that could cause units to slide while chasing other units. That's funny. Wow, there's so many of these. Fixed a bug that could cause unintended behavior when the AI was heroizing Atlantean units due to the overlap of goals and research plans. Improvements for the time skipping of cutscenes. AI Underworld. Oh, AI big buffs. Fixed a bug preventing the AI from recasting Earthquake and all the other destructive god powers. Fixed a bug causing recalculation of place population to be incorrect in some situations. Fixed a bug that could use recorder games to freeze at frame 0 if your device had not been rebooted for 25 days or longer. Hey, there you go. Fixed a bug causing Norse galleries to become idle if the ox cart is garrisoned in a sentry tower. Never noticed it, but thank you. Fixed a bug causing Greek favor generation to be impacted incorrectly by the player handicap. Fantastic. I've started using that player handicap in my team games. So just as a random aside, if you ever want to play a team game with me and I'm hosting and you're watching on the stream, you want to join, don't feel like you're not level enough. If you've got a low rating, I'll give you some handicap and you can play along. Multiplayer pause restrictions now also apply when playing Arena of the Gods. Fixed a bug causing range rings on monuments to show incorrectly in some situations. Fixed a bug allowing edge scrolling while running the benchmark scenario. Fixed a bug causing transformed berserks to attempt to gather resources and other commands. Yada, yada, yada. Fixed a bug in Arena of the Gods where Ula research cost time was not free. Untouched foundations no longer block placement of movable units. Good. Placement logic for non-movable resource objects now properly account for untouched non-solid foundations. Thrown units no longer bounce when hitting an obstruction if the destination is a water tile. And fixed a bug causing attack move to not work in some situations. That's what I was looking for this entire time. I was waiting for the attack move bug. Big thumbs up. I'm happy. That's great. All right, let's take a quick look here. Villages bonus damage versus siege reduced from 2x down to 1.5x. This is close to what I want. I think villages shouldn't have a bonus against siege. Call me old-fashioned. It's how it was in vanilla. That's the original Age of Mythology. Titans said the towers are too good, so they gave the villagers a little bit of an assistance in defending them. In Retold, siege is so, especially melee siege, is so hard to use, not just because of the villager. Now, I'm hoping there's going to be a little bit more of siege stuff included in this, but not just because of the villager, because pathfinding is so good now in Retold that the units just get onto your siege and they kill it near instantly. So it's almost as if that's the only real point, for example, in building siege towers or building portable rams, or I guess destroyers are a little bit of a different type of unit, but you know, those two types of units, Heliopoli, is not to actually siege a building, but to plant it in front of a ranged mob, and that's like it. It's like kind of sitting there to be a distraction for your opponents in a fight. That's the only real use case. I don't think this is enough, because I still think you've got 1.5x is still a decent amount of damage. You've also got survival equipment to make those villagers do more. I'll be trying out Siege. We'll see if there's going to be anything else in here. Buildings, Sentry Tower adjusted as follows. Pierce damage increased from 4 to 5. Build limit increased from 20 to 30. We'll get through all these buildings and have a little thought about it. Fortress, build limit increased from 10 to 15. Town Center, pierce damage reduced from 12 to 10. This is to help make sure fast expansion strategies have more room for counterplay. And pierce damage reduced from 15 to 12. Okay, so a big nerf to the Citadel Center. Thank you. That seems to be in line with the Town Center. Citadel Center was incredibly oppressive. It probably still is, to be completely honest. But it's going to be less oppressive. Fortresses going up in build limit is nice. That's going to be a nice boost to the late game. You're getting more than 10 Migdols or fortresses or hill fort, so you can spam out units all over the map, get out the siege you need on different locations, can be really nicely, especially for those deathmatch type games as well. These sentry towers going up by 1 is a very tiny amount. I know that a lot of, I don't know, Age of Empires, players who are used to like Age of Empires 2, Age of Empires 4, probably not 100% used to the way that Mythology works, and that if you can just defend with buildings, it is a problem to some degree in terms of it's just really tough to punish somebody if they're going for a defensive boomy play, right? It's very tough to punish that at probably the mid to top level. It's where it probably starts coming in. Once you get that defensive knowledge down, you can actually play really, really defensive. But sentry towers and towers in general did feel a little lackluster. You could basically ignore them in the early stages of the game. Once you got, in my opinion, once you got to like the late game, guard towers, ballista towers ended up being very, very helpful for holding an area. Part of the reason why I think that the towers or buildings have missed the mark is that 1, they got cheaper, and 2, they got weaker, when maybe they should have been, they get stronger and they get more expensive as an idea, just on the fact that there's more population now, and when you want to place a tower down, you know, it's probably better to just spam out more units because you've got to fill up that population first. It's no different to on Legacy, which was don't build any towers basically until you're at full pop and then build towers. Don't want to go too much more into it. Let me know what you guys think about buildings and if you think that this is going to be enough of a help for those towers or you think they need to have a little bit more. Also offer more suggestions than just add some more damage, maybe add some more damage, add some more cost, maybe take some HP off, add some more damage. Those sorts of ideas can be very, very helpful. Okay, so technologies, Mythic Age, cost increase from 1,000 food, 1,000 gold to 12,000 food, 12,000 gold. So right now there is a very large trend for Egyptian players, basically just Egyptian players and a little bit of Atlantean, but very, very rare. I don't actually think it's very good, to rush Mythic Age. I think that this is geared towards Egyptian. I could be wrong, and maybe it's around the entirety of the game. Mythic Age is getting rushed too much. I don't personally see that in my gameplay. I don't personally see that in other gameplay. I see it in very, very defensive gameplay where both players play ridiculously defensive. That's when we get those Mythic Age rushes. And there are several gods that are affected by this with that defensive gameplay. You've got Freyr, you've got Isis Ra, you've got Set to some degree, you've got Hades, you've got Gaia. Those are maybe Kronos. Those are like the big gods that have got some sort of like inkling to play defensive and go straight to the Mythic Age. I don't think it's good for anything other than Egyptian at the moment, in my experience. This here, obviously, I don't think this is going to be a huge impact on balance, but there's going to be times where I feel like a civilization can get to the Mythic Age, and you're going to be really struggling to get 12,000 food, 12,000 gold to chase the Mythic Age. That's the big challenge, right? Is to get to that Mythic Age. So something like a Greek player playing against an Egyptian player, the Egyptian player is going to be fine with that 12,000, I think. Maybe I'm wrong on this and they're going to really struggle. Maybe they're just going to die to every all-in and they're going to have to play Heroic Age more. But I think they're going to struggle. They're going to get to that 12,000 fine. And I think that the Greek player or the Atlantean player, they're going to struggle to keep up. So we'll see how it's going to go. It's an interesting little change. Very, very different from what Legacy had. We've already had the Mythic Age and Heroic Age get the time brought back to take you longer to get to the next age. But this is an interesting angle and we'll see how it's going to go. Some relics here. We've got Hermes Wing Sandals going down from 10% to 5%. Dwarven Horseshoes going down from 10% to 5%. Staff of Dionysus going up from 0.5 to 1.0. Fetters of Finra going up to 30%. Demeter's Throne going up to 300%. Oh, yes, I might actually pick that up. That looks good. Trojan Gate Hinge going up to 40%. Ooh, this relic that's probably like a must grab for those wall spammers out there. That could be very, very impressive. Skulls of Seraples, Hunk Monkeys now going down to 35 HP. That's actually a big nerf to them because there's 5 of them. So you're taking off like 25 HP or something. 6 of them? 5, 6? I don't know. Tower of Cestus, bonus damage versus myth units increased from plus 40% to plus 100%. Love that. That relic was always silly. Myth units have got high pierce armor. Towers do pierce damage. They need a big boost. Doing double damage versus a myth unit is basically like they're now going to do something like 10 DPS instead of 5 DPS versus the myth units. Love. Okay, Pantheon changes. Minor Gods, Athena, Sarissa, cost increase from 100 wood, 15 favor to 125 wood, 20 favor. Okay, so for those of you who don't understand this one, Sarissa is arguably the best Classical Age upgrade. Close second would be, what's it called? Bite of the Shark for Oceanus, right? Atlanteans, Oceanus. So the reason why Sarissa is so good is because the Hoplite is already at base a really decent unit. Then on top of that, they get a huge amount of range, which allows them to basically fix any sort of pathfinding problems that melee units have. And they're attacking significantly faster in a fight than everything else is. So this technology is insane. In other words, it costing an extra 5 favor and 25 wood. That's roughly equal to 75 more resources. The tech's still going to be insane. I think this is still going to be a very quick pickup. I think Athena is still going to be very, very strong. Restoration also going 80 to 100 favor. This is nice. Restoration was getting spammed too much. I would have actually preferred to see this one go instead of, well, maybe stay at 80 favor for the second cast, but then make it like a 40 favor increase or something, right? So that it's really challenging to get more than one out. So you really have to be careful about when you use that second one and that third one, rather than just going, oh, I'm back to 80 favor, let me use it. Like, you have to really be considering when you want to throw those gold powers down. At 100 favor now, you're going to be considering it, but it's going to be 100 favor, 110, 120. And I think you're going to be still able to spam it out quite a bit as Zeus. Hades, however, probably, if you go Aphrodite and get golden apples, you'll be able to make something of it in the heroic age, but I don't think you're going to use it any more than one time. Probably better to just make myth units with Hades anyways. Okay, Ares, Deimos' Sword of Dread, research time reduced from 40 to 20 seconds. I love this technology. This technology gives you the Hypaspis in the classical age. So all of a sudden you can go Ares, get this tech, and you're going to go Hypaspis. Soup was already making this work. So his little Ares strat getting boofed, like Soup, boofed. Soup is boofed. Okay, so Argive Patronage technology adjusted as follows. Cost reduced from 300 food, 300 gold, 40 favor, down to 200 food, 300 gold, 30 favor. Myrmidon spawn rate increased from 45 to 60. This is to counteract the increase in the fortress build limit, as well as to make the technology more accessible by making it cheaper to compensate the nerf. I get it. I don't think we're going to see anyone really being able to get that many fortresses up. It's going to be in team games where we do see it. So this is a little nod, I think, to the team game players out there. But it does get weaker. Now getting 60 seconds for those 170 resources or whatever it is. So it's much, much slower. But yeah, getting it for cheaper is nice. I don't know. We'll see. It doesn't really change much. It wasn't a huge technology. It wasn't like giving people wins or anything. It was just the nice little boost to Hera's late game, I guess. But anyways, Dionysus, Bronze, Human Soldiers, Myth Units, and Shift Vulnerability reduced from 45% down to 40%. Tiny tap on Bronze. We'll have to see exactly how much this is because I really don't know from the percentages. Bronze is pretty good. I think a lot of players think that Bronze is really, really good. I think it's pretty good. You can run away from it. It doesn't increase any damage, so the only really way you get value out of this if your opponent fights it. So I don't know. It's a good thing, but okay. Hephaestus, plenty of gold power, resource generation increased from 3 to 4 per second per resource. Okay, so a little bit of a boost to, and the Colossus getting cheaper. Okay, so a big boost there to Hephaestus. Everyone was going Artemis, everyone was going Hera. Very rarely did we see Hephaestus. We did see it a little bit, but I think the problem with Hephaestus isn't, maybe it is in plenty, and maybe this is going to be enough to make Hephaestus really get picked. But I think the problem is that Artemis, it's not really Artemis this is insane. It's that Shafts of Plague is really, really strong. Sort of similar to how Electron Bullets was strong, except instead of it being a slinger that doesn't have that much damage, it's a Toxote that has a ton of damage. And it's also a Peltas, which has got more range than a slinger and does a ton of damage. Yes, it's a Mythic Age upgrade, but it is really, really good. And I think that's a lot of the reason why we are seeing Artemis most of the time for Hades and Poseidon. Zeus going Hera, I mean, Hera's just good. So we'll see. I part of me feels like what Hephaestus needs is maybe a little bit more love on the myth unit side, dealing with myth units. If you're playing a matchup where there's a ton of myth units you have to deal with, maybe that technology needs to like give you a big buff on the like Myrmidon or the Gastrophedes or the Hetaira. That would be maybe a nice way to go. But nonetheless, myth units, Colossus, Hephaestus, favor cost reduced from 35 to 30. Over here, we've got that hero units. Hippolyta, Odysseus, and Chiron getting a big boost in pierce damage. That's kind of big. I don't know what their rate of fire is, so I don't know what their DPS is, but percent-wise, that's a pretty decent boost there. Odysseus only getting 1, though. Poor guy. This guy, Hippolyta gets 2, Chiron gets 2, and every Zeus main goes and cries to themselves, but realizes that they still have Bellerophon and they've still got the best Greek unit to deal with everything, so it's fine. All right, human units, Hippias, hack armor increased from 10% to 15%. Everyone, hello, world of Poseidon. Poseidon is going to be a menace. 15%. That's only a 5% increase, but all of a sudden, now spearmen don't do as well. Camel riders probably still own the Hippias. Hoplites don't do as well. Murmillo don't do as well. All of this stuff. Raiding cavalry don't do as well. We'll see. I actually thought that Poseidon was... Everyone says Poseidon's terrible, but I thought Poseidon was in an okay spot, and this is going to either put it into a decent spot or an insane spot. I'm hoping for decent at the top level. I'm really hoping that that's where it's at. And we'll see. Hetairoi do look like they're getting a nerf, but they get bonus damage versus archers. That's huge! 50%. Not, I mean, Hetairoi, they're just gonna, you're just not gonna build archers versus Hetairoi ever. That's insane. Wow. Okay. Fortress Pierce damage increased from 9 to 10. Is this all fortresses or just the Greek fortress? I hate this. I am obviously at the top of the ladder. I don't understand what it's like to play at the lower levels and you want to play a kind of more defensive game. But I guarantee you can spam out 3 fortresses in your games on a position and it will be defensible. The difference between Age of Empires and Age of Mythology with the buildings is the spammability of the castle building. This is a big boost to the fortress. 9 to 10, that goes from 27 DPS to 30 DPS. Now you add in the fact that most top players are putting 3 Migdols down, 3 fortresses down on most places, which are really important, right? I saw a game, for example, of Mr. playing against an Atlantean player on Mount Olympus, and he built barely anything. He just built a whole bunch of fortresses and got guard towers. Couldn't kill him. So yeah, I do accept and acknowledge that the town center has gotten weaker. So this might counteract that a bit. So it might be fine. I'm hoping it's good. I'm just hoping that I think defensive play is pretty good at the top level. I don't know what it's like down in the depths. Let me know how you feel, and maybe you want this to be even more. But just remember there are 3 arrows coming out of the fortress, so it is a fairly sizable buff. Okay, so set. Devotees, more Monument Aura. Human Soldier discount increased from 5% to 10%. Okay, so Set obviously has been... I don't know if Set's necessarily been struggling, but Set definitely loses some games just based on economy. And it's really, really unfun to just sit there going, I'm trading pretty good. My opponent's economy is just getting insane. So... this is going to help out Set a little bit. over the course of the game, you will notice about 1,000 more resources, I reckon, in your back pocket playing if you use the monuments well. All right, let's get into this. This is what I want to see. Sekhmet, Bone Bow, Chariot Archer, and Line reduced from +3 to +2. Okay. This will mean that a Chariot Archer will be at 22 range, which still outranges the Slinger. I don't have an opinion just yet. Let me keep reading. Thoth, Valley of Kings technology now gives free units less quickly. After the upgrade is researched, the training rate of Migdol Stronghold and Barracks, whilst being empowered by a Pharaoh, has been reduced. This effect was already present, but has been made more pronounced. Oh, okay. So this is just this just is literally you get less resources for Valley of the Kings. I don't know how much. By how much? There's not really any numbers here, so you have to go and test it. But this is just Valley of the Kings got hit with a hit again. So Valley of the Kings has been hit pretty much every single patch. I actually don't think it's that good anymore. I think it's like okay. It's probably still going to be okay. It's a technology you're going to get, and as soon as you get it, it's very, very difficult for you to have this technology in the game and for you to want to do anything else with your Pharaoh. Your Pharaoh is going to be on the Migdol. It's going to be pumping out the units on that Migdol. Could be on a Barracks if you really need it, but that's not the best usage of your time. But on the Migdol, spamming out Chariots, spamming out Elephants, Camel Riders, you're still going to do it. We'll see an example with... Oh, this is the example. Here we go. Before, 12.06. After, 15.08 seconds. This is effective 20% reduction in train speed when empowered by the Pharaoh. So let's just say the Elephant is at... I don't know what costing it is. Let's just say it's 200, and you get it every 15... You get 200 resources every 15 seconds, so you're getting 200, 400, 600, 800 resources every minute, basically. If it's at 200 resources. I can't remember exactly what it is. All right, so Osiris, Desert Winds, Camel Rider hit points, speed, and damage reduced from 20% to 15%. All of it. Wow, okay. Okay, obviously this technology was insane. This unit is insane. I think it's still going to be strong. I think this is still going to be really, really good. I think this is still going to be oppressive in the Egyptian mirror. I don't think that you're going to be able to go anything other than Osiris in the Egyptian mirror still. I think it's still going to be an Osiris mirror, spamming out camels, and Ra will win the late game, and Isis will win the mid game if whoever wins, right? Eclipse, God Power, duration reduced from 80 to 66 seconds. Nice. This did go on for a really, really long time. Eclipse is very, very powerful. I think Eclipse is, I wouldn't say like sleeper overpowered. People know about it, but it definitely rivals God Powers like Flaming Weapons in terms of how much damage you can get done with it. So we'll see. I would have liked to maybe see a little bit of a hit to the, I don't know, the damage, the speed, just anything else. But damage, at least duration, going to be able to retreat away, and maybe it's going to go away. The thing is that you can just chase because you get so much speed from it. But nonetheless, Wadjet! Adjust as follows. Pierce damage increased from 6 to 12. Poison damage reduced from 4 to 2.5 per second for 5 seconds. This results in a total of 7.5 divine damage lost and 6 pierce damage gained per attack. All right. So it lost 1.5 damage, but also pierce damage, so it probably lost about 4 damage. 4? Roughly, because most units have probably got about 30-ish%. Maybe it's 3 damage it's lost overall. What this actually means for the Wadjet, I think, is that you don't really have to micro it anymore. You're gonna shoot it. What I would do with the Wadjet at the moment is I would be shooting the unit until it gets to about half HP, and then I would start shooting a different unit, a myth unit, right? Now you're gonna have to basically keep shooting it to kill it because it's only doing damage reduced from 4 to 2.5. So 2.5 times 5 is I can't do math. I actually can't do math. It's too late. 12.5. So that's still a lot of damage, though. I think the Wadget's still going to be really good. I think you're still going to see Wadget play. I imagine that Norse is going to be a little bit better against this now. I imagine. I hope. I think that it's going to be really good against Egyptian still. I think it's probably going to be pretty good against Atlantean still as well. I don't think you're ever going to use it against Greek. But nonetheless, Phoenix damage increased from 40 to 50. 50 oh, okay. So a buff to the... Okay, so a buff to the Phoenix. Phoenix Egg is getting a little bit of pierce armor reduction so that it will die faster to arrows. So you can kill it with like Godi, for example, or Odysseus, which is good because you're going to have to kill it in the air and then you have to kill it on the ground. It was silly. You couldn't kill it with a Godi or Odysseus or whatever. But Phoenix rebirth timer, so it comes back pretty quick. 50 seconds now. So be careful on that. Hippopotamus is set. These... Oh, Elephant 1.5x bonus versus buildings is interesting. These probably don't matter that much. You're not going to... I don't think anyone's ever going to make any Elephants a set. Hippopotamus a set going from 10 to 9 in favor might actually make them the best food source to get in the late game if you want to be making them to gather food from. I don't see any point in it because myth units are just so good, but it could be the best unit rather than the Rhino, I think it was before. All right, Mummy Osiris adjusted as follows. Special attack reach time increased from 10 to 8. It was at 10 seconds? Are you kidding me? No wonder this thing was insane. Special attack divine damage reduced from 4 to 3 per second. For 15 seconds, this reduces divine from 60 to 45. It was at 60. Jeez. I knew this unit was broken. I was saying just build Mummy from day one. I'm glad it got nerfed. Chariot Arch hit points reduced from 100 to 95. Okay. What does this mean? I'm not happy with it, first and foremost. I don't think this is the right change. I am biased against horse archers. I don't think that they are fun to play against. I don't enjoy using them. What does this do? Effectively, the way that I see this is I think that when they're good, they're still going to be good. When they're bad, they're going to get absolutely hammered. As opposed to when they're bad, they are going to not get absolutely hammered. They'll probably get a little bit hammered. So this should be a help to players who play around the Chariot Archer well. I hope. For me, I would rather see either the Chariot Archer speed reduced, the Chariot Archer range reduced. Yeah, one of those two. I would rather see one of those two at the moment. Fingers crossed this unit is not going to be oppressive anymore. I think it still will be, but we'll have to wait and see. Okay, so Monument to Villagers, Priests, Pharaohs has got to be changed. So the first monument gives less favor. Second monument gives more favor. And Pharaohs gives even more favor. Okay. Okay, so the total amount of favor that Egyptians are going to be able to gain is going to be more. But their first monument is giving them less, which should mean less favor in the early game, which was somewhat when they're impressive. But doesn't this just mean that everyone's just going to rush 3 monuments? That's what I would do. So rushing 3 monuments now is the same as just having 3 monuments before. Right? Villagers, priests, soldiers is still 0.1. So yeah. So villagers is 0.75. Priests is 0.125, which now means that villagers, soldiers, priests equals 3 or 0.3. And it was 0.3 before. So if you get all 3, you're at the same. And then you get the pharaohs, you get even more. So I actually wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing some, even though Bast was nerfed, or Eclipse was nerfed, I wouldn't be surprised if we see some like crazy 4 monument stuff start getting a little bit more mainstream. Big doll. Okay, so all the fortresses are going up. I've already covered it. 8 to 9. I'm not going to say it again. All right, Loki. Human soldiers and hero bonus damage multipliers reduced from plus 25% to plus 20%. So a tiny little slap on the bonus damage here for Loki. Of course, this is a nerf to Loki. I just think that this might just be. This is just really, really strong. It just is. It just makes Loki really, really strong, and it like works with Loki's stuff. It's like if the more damage Loki does, the more myth unit spawns he gets. It's just really strong. We'll see if this is enough to like get Loki into line. We'll see what other Norse changes are coming, but this isn't a big nerf. Loki wasn't necessarily oppressive, though it was a very strong god. So a tiny little slap might put him into that kind of sort of middle of the pack thing. I'm not sure. Okay, we'll keep going down. Ghoul and Bursty. Birth damage reduced from 50 hack to 20 hack. Birth damage now increases by 20 hack each age. This should make the initial impact of the god power a little weaker early on, but stronger in later stages. So in the archaic age, the smackdown of the Ghoul and Bursty on units will do 20. If it hits, whatever it hits, it does 20. In the classical age, it's 40. In the heroic age, it's 60. In the mythic age, it's 80. So it's a buff to Ghoul and Bursty in the mythic age. But it's a nerf in the classical age. So if you can sort of put pressure on in the classical age to get it out, and he's going to want to smack your units and get all the AoE damage done, it's only going to do 40 instead of 50. So 10 hack damage nerf. Okay. I don't like the Ghoul and Bursty damage. I think that the stun on the thing is like enough for age 1 god power. plus it's a really strong unit. But nonetheless, let's go on. I think Freyr was still in the middle of the pack. I think he's probably still in the middle of the pack. I don't think this is a nerf. It's kind of a buff. I don't really see many Ghoul and Bursties happening in the classical age. Or at least no Ghoul and Bursties in the classical age getting the splash damage. Or the birth damage, so they call it. Okay, Ula, Servants of Glory, technology, idle build-up, movement speed diminishes 66% slower, and technology, I can't say that. Yudler. Research time 25 to 15 seconds. 62.5 to 37.5. Okay, so this goes really quick. This technology was actually really good because it boosted or increased your train rate in the hill fort, meaning you could make more Huskal. So that's going to mean you can get even more Huskal out as Freyr. So that's going to be really strong. Vidar, Silent Resolve, this technology. Oh, okay. Diminishes 60% slower. This might actually be useful. Because the idea is you could just leave it there, leave your berserks kind of sitting idle for a little bit, and then rush in and take a fight. And it's going to not diminish anymore. So it could be a way to go. I don't know. Njord, Ring Giver technology, Jarl hit points reduced from 25% to 20%. This is to compensate for the Jarl-based hit points buff. Okay, so Njord, Ring Giver got nerfed, but there is a Jarl base hit points buff. So this should still be... Your Ring Giver Jarls, I'm going to guess, are going to still be exactly the same. But the base Jarl is going to get bigger. Okay, I haven't seen that. Bragi, Flaming Weapons, Human Soldier, 75% to 60%. Okay, so Flaming Weapons is still too strong. Taking it down. Fire Giant, Hellbalder, population cost reduced 5 to 4. Fafnir, hit points 1300 to 1400. Big boost there to Fafnir. Godi, bonus damage versus myth units increased from 5.5 to 6. Okay. I still think Norse really, really struggles versus myth units. But they don't really struggle versus myth units in the heroic age. They struggle versus them in the classical age. Nonetheless, Ballista adjusted as follow. Crush damage increased from 12 to 15. Population from 4 to 3. Okay. Ballista, big boost here. Okay. Huskal. Ooh, train time reduced from 9.5 to 7.5. So, like I said, up here, you've also got this big boost as well. Where is it? Yeah, this one here. What was I going to say? Okay, so Huskal At 7.5 seconds, once you get Levy as well, all of a sudden, that's probably going to be like you only need 2 hill forts to get a significant amount out. And you're going to be wanting to get more anyways, right? But you're going to be able to actually feel the Huskarl presence on the map. The problem with the Huskarl is it's really, really strong, but archers come out of archery ranges. They come out of barracks. They come out of a Migdol stronghold, which is getting empowered, right? Or there's 3 Migdol strongholds already getting built because they're really cheap, and the Egyptian player is just going to build just those and not build any barracks, right? So it's really, really challenging to get the Huskarl out. So this should mean that the Huskarl is easy to get out, which means we should be able to see if it's actually good or not. If the stats are good or not. I think the stats are good. We'll see. Jarl hit points increase from 180 to 190. So that's going to be Jarls. You can probably build them kind of normally now without Ring Giver. Herdman hack damage increase from 4 to 5. Wow. That is a big, big boost to the Herdman. That's actually a huge boost because you have to remember the Herdman is like 5x versus Cav. For Loki, it's like 6x or something. I can't remember. 4x. It's 4x. But nonetheless, it's like 4x. That's still like... That's huge. This unit is going to... This unit might be as strong as the Catapultis now. You might not be able to build Cav versus Norse. Not that you should be building Cav versus Herdman anyways, but the Herdman might be a really, really good counter now. They are still very weak. Remember that. They do die very quickly to arrow fire. So keep that in the back of your head. Hill Fort going up. Asgardian Hill Fort going up. Okay, we're not going to go on about it. Atlas Implode. Adjusted as follows. Cooldown increase from 60 to 180. No one used it twice. Unit min-max pull time increase from 0.1 to 0.15. 0.15/0.25. Implode escape radius reduced from 40 to 35. Units are pulled in slower and the escape radius is reduced. This should hopefully allow enough room to escape the implode, particularly with faster moving units. Okay. There goes any strategies to just smack all of the units into into the center to try and survive. But yeah, I was actually starting to think that Atlas just isn't actually the god you want to go as Gaia. As Kronos it probably was, but as Gaia I'm actually starting to think that, you know, Implode was kind of, people were starting to play like getting better at defending against it or whatever. Not defending against it, but surviving it. And then the Gaia play was actually losing, even though they find a huge advantage with it, right? You're going to now see Gaia plays, if this actually does anything and players can actually escape the Implode, if this does anything, right, you're going to start seeing Gaia players going Hecate. And I think that the Hesperids tree plus Hecate unique technologies, that's actually meta. So we'll see. Okay, Myth units. Man of War, Mythic Age Naval unit adjusted as follows. Attack range reduced from 12 to 10. Divine damage going down. Okay, don't care. Promethean cost increased from 90 food to 8 favor, 90 food to 9 favor. My poor Prometheans. I actually didn't even think that they were that impressive. Oh, my poor Prometheans. I don't think this matters. I think I'm always floating favor as Atlantean anyways, but... Okay, Caladria Oceanus. Movement speed reduced from 5.3 to 5.0. Can I kill it then? The Caladria, okay, let me just, why is this unit being nerfed right now? The reason is because at the top level, it is impossible to kill. Now, if I control it, it dies all the time because I'm terrible. But if someone really good controls the Caladria, it's really, really hard to actually kill the unit because it can just dodge before ballistics comes in, right? And the only thing that can attack it is an arrow. On top of that, you can heal your units up. If your opponent is targeting down a unit, you can just heal it up with like 3 Caladria, not even using the burst heal. And then once another unit gets low, you burst heal back to healing, and it can be really, really impressive early game. It being slower, I don't think it changes anything. But I don't know. We'll see. Behemoth Rhea adjusts as follows. Hit points increase from 650 to 700. Damage increase from 9 to 20. 90 crush! Oh, no longer has the 5x bonus versus buildings. Why? Can someone do the math on that for me? Oh, it's a myth unit killer now. He can now kill off the rock giant. Hey! Rock Giant. I see. I was just trying to work out why they did it. Because this is the same thing, right? What's 18 times 5? 90, right? Yeah, it is. So it's literally the same thing. The hack goes up. So the actual damage from the hack is going up. I guess that's why. They didn't want to have the hack giving bonus damage as well to buildings. It's more like they want to get more damage done onto units. Okay, so Lampedes, flipped order of Chaos and Transfiguration abilities. So the first auto cast will always be the Transfiguration ability, range attack, and special attacks range increasing 10 to 12. So this unit's getting even better. Okay. Hero Citizens. 3x to 1.5x. This was much higher than originally intended and now brought into line with the other villager units. Thank you. Finally, I can build siege towers against Gaia. Terma adjusted as follows. Movement speed 5.8 to 5.6. Attack range 12 to 13. Oh, I see. Okay, so this is a Terma change. Let's cover that. So the Terma here goes from 5.5 back to 5.3. So at launch, it was at 5.3. Everyone said it was terrible. Vortex then showed at 5.3 speed, mind you, that the Terma is actually really good. And then they buffed it. And then Vortex showed, oh, actually, the Terma is insane now. And now it's gone back to 5.3 and given a touch more range. So it's going to be, I assume, better in a actual fight because you don't have to get as close to the enemy infantry units or cavalry to actually kill off the archers. But it's going to be slower, so the cavalry should be able to chase it down. My guess is this is a attempt to allow the Terma to still function because it needs to be good against archers, but nerf it against everything else. So you shouldn't be able to mass Terma against like infantry, cavalry, and expect to win games. But I'm not sure if this is going to come out in this patch or not. Maybe it will later once people really catch on. Gaia plus Terma, the thing that is really strong is channels and spreading lush. Spreading lush, and now all of a sudden you've got like a 6.1 speed maybe, base Terma, not a Terma hero, that is just everywhere. So I think Gaia is still going to be really, really good. I think Uranus and Cronus are going to hurt because they were both using this. Like good archer abusers were using this. Okay, so Contarius has gone up by 5 food. I actually didn't think that Contarius was like that oppressive. I thought it was the discount. So I guess the discount is going to be still pretty strong, but it's going to be less strong. Oh, I missed this. Cairo Ballister Hero will now hit 2 projectiles more accurately rather than just 1 per volley. This is an attempt to make the Cairo Ballister more consistent, particularly at long ranges. Dude, this could be absolutely insane for Atlantean. So Atlantean's biggest struggle right now is dealing with infantry units. Now they do have, like I said, one of the strongest infantry units in Murmillo. So they would just go, if your opponent goes mass infantry, they would go mass Murmillo. They would go Prometheans. They would go Dryads. Those sorts of units to kind of bulk up against the front line. But if the Cairo Ballista now deals with infantry really well and consistently, this could be really, really big. This is probably enough. If this works, I don't know. This is probably enough for Atlanteans to become a very big threat against Norse. I think Norse players should be a little bit scared about this because this is like Norse struggles against Greek, struggles against Egyptian to deal with the Hypaspis and the Axeman because it deals with all of what they want to build, right? Cairo Ballister isn't that good. They can just build berserks and charge at it and then kill it. If this actually does damage, then all of a sudden you actually have to counter this. Then the way to counter this is making cavalry units, which get hard countered by catapultes. So I wouldn't be surprised to see some sort of Cairo Ballister catapultes army start emerging. If this is good. Fingers crossed it is, because I think the Cairo Ballister should be a unit that is functions. And the palace going up. Okay, so monitor editing. Fixed a bug preventing use of the black map fog toggles in the editor. Object placement in the editor will now try to show the unit icon for the object currently being placed. Okay, KB. So I don't know what any of that is. And coming up, welcome to Age of Mythology Retold in 2025. We are really excited about our upcoming content releases and know that the community is aching for news too. With this update in your hands, we are now heads down working on our next exciting update, which will bring new challenges for everyone to enjoy. Speaking of things to look forward to, we are also at hard work on Immortal Pillars, the next chapter of the AOM Retold saga. We can share that it's been a journey and a labor of love for all of us, so be on the lookout for more as we finalize all the details. Okay, guys, let me know what you guys think of this. Who do you think are going to be the big winners of this patch? Who do you think are going to be the big losers of this patch? I think Egyptian is going to be completely fine here. I don't think that I think they're still going to be very, very strong. I think Greek is... I think Poseidon's going to be a big winner here as well. It looks like Norse is one, but I think Odin and Freyr are the big winners here. I think Thor and Loki did get a little bit of a hit here just on the Bragi and stuff like that. I don't know if Thor got hit. So Thor might be really, really strong on this patch as well. And Thor said he didn't get hit, which I think is really, really strong as well. Nonetheless, hope you guys enjoyed this one. Looking forward to play this and showing you all the new fun things that we can do. And I'll see you guys in the next one.